Sharon?
Yeah, thanks. Sharon George, I'm also part of this group that still doesn't have a name, unfortunately. Blogger Keynote. And I teach at the Wickenby School. Perhaps I could address very broadly the the range of public concerns that you have raised, rather than any specific policy issue. I'm concerned mainly with the way that we talk about these issues rather than the issues themselves. I know that sounds a bit airy-fairy, but I'll proceed anyway. It will help if we distinguish, I think, between what society should have and what it must have. What society shouldn't have and what it must not have. In other words, the difference between the nice to have and the must have. You could also look at it as a difference between morality and law. If you look at these as questions of morality, I think everyone in this room would agree that the concerns that you've raised are valid concerns. They are things that societies must be worried about. These are things we would not like to have. They should not have. But I think there's a danger of political sleight of hand if we go from there, the very valid human concerns that we have and a lot of stuff out there, and then suddenly legislate these and say that because we don't like them, we must prohibit them, or because these things are nice to have, we must have laws that ensure that only these things exist. I think it's in that translation from the morality to law that I hope that we can have a discussion on. To pick on your example of what the Boston Globe said about YouTube, I didn't read it, but I'm fairly certain, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the Boston Globe was not advocating suspension of the First Amendment and censorship of YouTube. It was instead, I guess, my guess is that when it used the word obligation, that the YouTube has the obligation to take it down, it was trying to influence YouTube to, on its own accord, take down material that would not be in the public interest. There, I think, many responsible bloggers, as well as responsible media of various sizes, would be fully on board with you. Yes, influential blogs, influential medium, both mainstream and marginal, have a moral obligation to stand up for social values. I think there will be strong agreement there. Where there would be a parting of ways, though, would be if such moral obligation were turned into law by an over-paternalistic state. And I think that's where I hope the discussion can proceed.
Yeah. I'd like to just make 2 points, respond to Chair. One, I want to register the point that there are legitimate concerns if there is misuse of the internet in the manner that we've been talking about. So if we agree, both you and I, agree that there are legitimate concerns over this way of using the net, I think that is a major, major step forward. Right? And basically, that is what I can tell you. That look, do we agree that there are legitimate concerns? Then the next question is, how do we address those concerns? And in fact, it is this second part where I hope I can benefit from your wisdom. How can we address those concerns? And your earlier point about, it's legitimate to worry about these things, but you're concerned about what you call a political sleight of hand. I'm not sure that it is a wise way to start dealing with what we're supposed to deal with, which is to look at how we can liberalize the system, by starting on the assumption that there will be political sleight of hand. Because if I start on the assumption, it is not possible to proceed.
Leong Sian from the Online Citizen. I think there are 2 different issues here. One is whether you can ban something. The other, which I feel is more important, is that even you say you can ban something, the decision, the power should not rest entirely on the minister. You should go to perhaps an independent committee. And of course, take an example of the 17 years film. If you want to ban something, you must say that you must give the reasons why you are banning it. And there must be some process of appeal to say that, well, if I think, the ban is not appropriate. So I think, I'm more focused on the second part of the issue.
Well, I'm very glad that you joined our conversation. In fact, this mechanism that you described, why not have a transparent way, of deciding what is a film that is against the public interest and what is a film that is not against the public interest. In fact, in our report, we did offer as one possible option the establishment of an independent panel of citizens, not civil servants, whose standing the public has confidence in, to deliberate on films, and they should be the one that should decide, not the government. So, would you be in support, Mr. Leong, of this proposal, this option, that there should be an independent panel set up that should be transparent in what they do, that they should explain in public the reasons for the decision? You be in favor of such an arrangement?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.